Hello and welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thank you so much for joining. So today I've only gotten halfway through the layout and I just want to get started in the reading. So sometimes I really appreciate being able to meditate thoroughly on the cards. But there's a message that's been subtly brewing for me since yesterday. It was something as I was in mid swim about a Horcrux, if you're a Harry Potter fan, something about the items that we give some type of special value to in our own lives can then, let's say, my one of my favorite crystals here. During my life, I commune with this item. It goes through different experiences with me, and then I might use it in this case as a form of a touchstone. And through good and bad, I may encounter this item, and it holds a lot of my energetic exchange. And my codes are now stored in this as a record keeper for my life in that way. And so not the Voldemort creepy type of Horcrux here, but in some type of a way, some ancestral items that you might be in possession of, whether or not those are things that you interact with on a regular basis or not. There seems to be something, whether it's something that's really calling your attention out of nowhere, or it might be an item that you regularly already see, such as a ring has been coming out recently, and I don't always give voice to it, but there are items in your possession perhaps that hold a specific type of energy that is a protective spell, almost a talisman, a piece. I'm hearing from the Lego movie, the piece of resistance. And if you haven't seen the Lego movie, it's a good one. It's got a lot of layers in it. It's interesting. It pokes fun. It's humorous. And it's also emotionally moving in different parts of it. But in this, it's actually like um, part of the spoiler, so I'm not going to give you all of it, but the piece of resistance is literally a cap that goes on the crazy glue, and it represents the thing that thwarts the so-called enemy's plans. So there's the bad guy and the good guy, and in this it's like play acting the issues of the real world and putting it into children's context in this play mode where there becomes these loved ones even pitted against each other. So I'll leave that there because that's absolutely pertinent to what is already on the table here. So I apologize. I should have taken a drink before I started. I do have the pole barn open. I'd love to get outside and do more readings outdoors for you guys. I know it's more peaceful, but this is really a nice sacred space for me. And sometimes it's just, I get into the cards and they just start speaking. So it is what it is. So let's get started. So the first card out is this 3 card. And it was reminding me a card that came out yesterday. I don't know what number, maybe 3 of fire. And it was showing this imagery. It was very much like the Fool card in the traditional tarot, where it had, in this case, the suit of fire. This individual was all in orange tones and some browns. And then it showed them looking over their shoulder with a little bit of a smile, as if to kind of say, see you around, packing up, packing light, and taking this journey. And it looks like there's this momentum going this way. And so as we're seeing them from here, in the background, there's a mountain range, and instead of being traditional mountains that are shown in this card, it is shown as the outline of the mountains and then the cosmos contained within that. And mountains often can symbolize the trials, tribulations, and challenges that we face. And this individual was almost happy to go into look into this. And so it was taking this journey, an activation journey, into perhaps the interaction of passions between our own and others, and willingly being the one who travels to from place to place, perhaps. And so in this card, what I'm sensing is an individual having come through the mountains from an earlier time where there were those challenges, and they have a scroll of knowledge. They've got this wolf dog familiar here, and they're kind of squatted down taking a break. There's shooting stars behind them, and the staff, instead of being that one that holds the knapsack, is now this really larger walking stick. It's quite ornate. It's got these twisted little images and things carved into it. It's like along the journey we've ditched the simplicity of the simple things that were brought along, and we've upgraded. And maybe it's even just talking about something on the literal level, like a car, a house, upgrading your life through the wisdom that you carry being applied to situations, like you've manifested better at a reasonable amount of energy investment, whatever this is. This 3 energy here seems to be talking about your journey, and that it's often been a solitary journey, but through that, clarifying, we have confidence. So through the trials and tribulations of life, it's really developed quite a bit of stamina, perseverance, in self identity and belief in self. The second card coming out is the 10 of Earth. And this card to me seems almost like along the way you've kind of tested out different skill sets. You've applied yourself in different ways. But and I just in this moment am noticing behind her over here, do you see? There's a deer, a doe, a female deer. Yes, I do think I'm funny sometimes. So this to me talks, this card has been coming out here the last 2 days. So today's day 3, and below that, exposing something really profound. I'll just show you this and try not to look below. Look at these 2 cards here. She's obscuring this part behind. This to me is the earthly mother Gaia, the fertility record keeper of the earth. And below her is almost like, I'm hearing Cave of Wonders. Is that from Aladdin, or is it from the iScry channel that I follow? That there's a reading on the palm, the shaman's palm, I think, where there's these caves, and I'm not familiar with the spread, but it's coming through for a reason. But there's this, is it an ibis? A bird on the foreground, and from the mouth issues forth from this gentleman part of this stole. We had this graduation stole recently, and it's over his antlers here too. We'll get into him in a little bit if we have time, but he wasn't part of the original reading. Here we have this individual as if imbued with Mother Gaia, in tune and aligned with that. And it's almost like where this first individual represents the earthly self and the evidenced reality, very appearing quite simple, your simplified life, less drama when you're on your own and you can rely on yourself wholeheartedly. So this individual represents for me your earthly but multi-dimensional self. On her arm, perched on her arm at first, glance, it to me represented almost like, are you an earth medicine worker? It's like, you know, it's like your working self, your professional self, and what you're doing either for purpose, for your calling, or the way that you're showing up for others. It's like you come in very goddess like. It's like you might look like this, but you seem like this. And so you're like, you're in here, maybe it's part of you showing up for work and doing your thing, or showing up in a professional way, doing your thing. Um, really sharing your passions and your connectivity with earthly realm matters. But then afterwards, you put your little mask back on and say, well, I got to return to the forest. It's time for me to go back into the multiverse where I belong. And doing just that. So, yes, what appeared on her arm to me as some kind of earth medicine is actually a very small chameleon like dragon, where it's melding right into this green tapestry all around her. And it's like the deer is waiting. The deer is one of her friends, perhaps. It's giving this little forest nymph vibe. And she's, because of her solitary nature, she's able to be integrated with the vibrations of the environment around. Like, she is chameleon. It's like when she goes back into the multiverse, back into the forest to do her thing with her magic and her mojo by herself, she's really at one with her cosmic self, defined here by the star seed card as this portal. See her third eye being lit up. She's getting this information through. She's disseminating information, catching and releasing what needs to be relayed, and bringing it down into the earth, and instilling it in the earth, in the forest, in the waters. And so she's come a long way, baby. And she doesn't feel alone when she's by herself. It's where she's most connected to her magic. So then, I don't know if anyone will have seen this by the time that they catch this broadcast. Views are a little low. If you're not getting the notifications, you may need to, in addition to subscribing, next to the subscribe button below the video, you may want to hit the bell. And as I have heard other people say, that sometimes the videos that don't have as much going for them with algorithms, like this is a new emerging channel, it can help to both grow the channel and to have it show up in your feed when you interact. You really can't go wrong with whatever button you want to push. And yeah, let's get back to the message here. The reason I say that is because a few days ago we had this circular emblem with almost the medicine wheel, many animal totems being shown up on it, and I think a scroll and coins were on there. And I was seeing this as almost the expectation, urge, or the prayer for a sign or a symbol or something to speak or to be recognized by. It was like a medal or a medallion or some kind of trophy from spirit that one was almost wanting and requesting, evidence of something, which doesn't seem very much like the confidence and charisma that we're seeing with this star seed. And then yesterday we had a channeled understanding about perhaps the interference happening with the subconscious vibrations that we're around, perhaps when we come out of our own little forest, and then we're encountering subconscious energies of others and needing to really stay singular in our focus of what is us and what is not us, and not only cleansing and clearing, but shielding the self and using the voice and the personal expression, both internally with your internal dialogue, monologue with higher self and spirit, as well as verbalizing to the individuals to create that buffer. So here we have this dragon. I'm not sure. This is a new deck for me. The Dreams of Gaia is so intense and gorgeous. This to me is it's almost Lemurian or like Atlantean. That's the air here I'm catching, but very, and this is the Lemurian seed crystal that I'm holding, perhaps both and or all of timelines speak through you and to you. But this here, it also seems like spirit is bringing us this thing. It's like the way that it came through the reading the other day was that spirit was saying what you could do is to just really take in your surroundings, having separated what is and is not yours, that your life is the evidence of your protection. Your life is the evidence of your luck, which is more than luck. It's hard work, it's integrity, staying focused and committed to the higher path. And even if we slip back and forth between our higher awareness and our lower awareness, these are all divine pieces of what puzzle we're trying to assist to be put together in a way, the puzzle that we're solving. And so here, Spirit is not only saying that our life is evidence of our reward, not punishment, which many of us already are aware of. They're gifting us this literal medallion here. And I don't know if you can see it, but around the perimeter of this disc here, we've got all of these. Oh, come on, lights. Don't mind my gardener's fingers. Can we get that in there? Just a little spy on that. There, and it almost looks to me in the moment like the black disc is moving around on the face of the yellow. I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost like going like this. It's a bit of an optical illusion. So I'm seeing this as not only a literal opportunity, invitation, or somebody recognizing our gifts or making a soul connection even with a stranger in a moment. It's like understanding that there's magic afoot and that we are being evidenced by the brief encounters and exchanges of information. They're all quite incredible. And so with this gift as well, it's coming out with the recognition card, but I'm also sensing that there's a treasure hidden in the ancestral possessions that you may have, whether it's something that's fallen from attention or not. So you may try to kind of busy yourself doing one thing or another, maybe listening to some specific intentional music while you do so, and you may come across something if the thing that they're referring to here is not coming to mind immediately. But something that's coming out below is that there's a reason for you encountering something that is some type of protective talisman at this time, and it may be because you've been invited or have an opportunity to reconnect with a situation, a place, or an energy, or a literal person that takes you away from your peace. That is part of the entangled energy that represents the mountains that you've already surpassed with flying colors, with that confidence card. And this is, it's part of this ongoing testing phase that we seem to be encountering through this year of the dragon energy and influence. So we'll get back to that talisman, and the situation is kind of coming up next. So we have, I believe that this could be many things for us in the moment. The way that it's coming through is an ancestor in spirit, perhaps stepping forward. This can be a family member, as I said, or some other type of guide, guardian, or being. Take it as your intuition is calling. But for me, it's coming through as either a father in spirit, a grandfather, or an uncle, something type along those type of lines. And I don't want to get into my personal beliefs on this necessarily, but the way it's coming through is that this person with the up and down swords, they had their own trials and tribulations, and they did a great job at many of the things that they were facing. But there were some that really took a toll. See that sword there. It's like at the time when they faced their ultimate moments, there were either things left undone, things they regretted, things that they had understood and not understood, wasted opportunities, estranged relationships. And at the moment of death, even if we have a toxic individual that is coming to mind when we're talking about these situations, this individual is saying that there's something to be further resolved that we will understand in the moment, particularly if we take this talisman. And perhaps there's even, in some situations, a peace offering that you, as the conduit of spirit, or this other individual that seems toxic or whatever, there may be this passage of some type of belonging, or they or you, oh, I came across this and it belonged to this individual who was meaningful perhaps to both individuals that were represented the challenge in your life. And I thought it would be more meaningful for you in this instance. So this individual is coming through and asking us to reconsider. Yes, and yesterday this card, birthing, is the one that came out in knowledge. I did an extended reading myself on yesterday's cards, and birthing was already on the table, talking about how we are a portal for every light code coming through. We're a portal for either forgiveness or resentments. And they're not mutually exclusive. So interesting there. So the next card I feel is representing the individual that you've had these challenges with. And this individual, however toxic, however unconscious or conscious, is coming up with a very watery energy or Capricorn energy to me, both, because I'm seeing the sea goat. Yeah, water goat. Interesting. I just made that connection. But this individual is coming through with a lot of power. And so they may be volatile in their emotions, but they also are not to be trifled with, I want to say. So, and they come through with very Neptunian energy and the maiden mother crone energy here. So they've been in contact with a lot of feminine energies on purpose. It's part of their lessons that they're learning, and they may have to do with a watery location where they spend a lot of time, or that is part of what's coming next in the next card. But let's clarify it first. So this individual with that Neptune energy can be somebody who's addicted to emotional manipulation instead of higher energies. For instance, under the deck we have gifted, and clarifying we have union and prayers. Interesting. So for some of us, if this represents a family member who has been toxic, many family dynamics, the toxic person is the one who everybody kind of panders around and they stay connected, while the individual, the multidimensional individual who's not resonant with mind effery and lies and deception and toxic behavior, has quested and been aloof and removed perhaps from some type of dynamic where it was seen to be unsafe. Contact and gifted. Interesting. So this individual is praying to reconnect with you. They don't understand what they don't understand. Next, I'm getting the violet flame with the contact here. So this may be important for you to help shield yourself in the moment. I'm going to put that below this next card. The 0 card. It's got a lot of light and dark attributes. It's got the tree of life perhaps. And I don't know if this is a third individual because we've got 3 doors. It's as if this individual, maybe even a bit bipolar or borderline personality, where somebody in the family dynamic has not been able to resolve and to pick a side. They're stuck in the middle. It brings them a lot of pain. But this individual is coming through very shadowed, but very, very much praying for healing and transmutation. They feel like they're off in an island unto themselves. They can't connect with anyone either, even though they're in the situation. They may be trying hard to cut ties with these lower emotional patterns that repeat in their life. They're looking for illumination and clarity, but they're in the dark. Somebody you may not have been in contact with. I'm going to take that card that flew on the floor upside down on this same pile here because I want more clarification. Caretaker, yes. They're caretaking for somebody else in the situation. They're perhaps even more of an enabler energy where they would not stand up to the bully energy that's put out here. And then the third individual in this line, I feel represents yourself. Look at that powerful crown and third eye energy coming into the heart, but see that dagger, it's at the wrists as though the wrists are bound. But I know that you are aware that you're not bound by this situation, but there is still a lot of karmic entanglement because of the DNA that's shared experience, because of the prayers for reconnection. And don't take all of these messages if they're not for you as a general reading. I can only read the general flux. And I sense that the urge to reconnect brings you into quite a bit of a two minds about things. Let's see what else here. I feel that also with that medallion, yes, that looking around you for evidence. It's like, look at you for evidence. Look at that halo moving around the darkness. Look at the halo coming out behind this head here and how those codes are also written around the halo here. It's like they're understanding how gifted they are, you are, and walking with this talisman is a reminder for you, a recognition of your powerful potential and your multidimensional ability to manifest the highest, to be part of that union energy without compromising who you are. Because I think that the only reason, well, not the only reason, but one of the big reasons there's this bully energy is because this individual has problems recognizing their own security and recognizing their own power. They recognize hierarchy and deficit and scarcity, and they think that their power comes by taking it from others, by siphoning situations. And this is why they're addicted to self-soothing, self-sabotage behavior. They may be high achieving because they have a lot going on here, but that doesn't mean that they're really able to figure out their psychological issues here. So yes, coming out here, I'll take both of these cards for your card here. You have the lotus of understanding. You have wings. You have light wings. It's like you're embodying the dragon energy here. You've got mediumship and up. Yes, I love the up card here. It's like leveling up here. Perhaps this is part of a partnership, part of a catharsis, um, coming out of your cocoon from the forest. And maybe this represents also the mask that you're able to wear for a time, and you're like, oh, that's been real. Gotta go back to my multidimensional status quo. I'm going to go back up and out of this situation. It's like the wings, being able to fluff your wings back out of your cloak here, out of the mask. And you understand that this individual is this way in large part because they're threatened by your confidence, your capacity. Hey, birds are trying to get in. Your capacity and your power and your embodiment. You come across magical and incredible, and it's threatening to them. And they want to somehow get their own recognition because they can't see. So maybe there's something that we can recognize in them without enabling. Like, oh yeah, I know you're really good at doing your thing and providing, or you've always been high achieving. It's just a statement of fact, and maybe that's the validation that they're looking for because you're the one that they esteem, whether or not they pick at you. So this third card here came out yesterday as well. I don't want to get cut off. I've only got two more. This one coming out, this Unbound card, and music. Yes, music will possibly set you free. Maybe you can play some music for folks while you're there. I don't know. This here, to me, appears as this third individual having an activation, having some type of answer to their prayers through this situation. Maybe they're the one that's getting or giving the gift, but they're having an incredible glow up activation when they see the two others coming together. I don't know if this is a mother figure, sister figure, somebody that has been praying for this ability to reunify here. Let's get a clarifier, and I think we're going to get cut off. All right, we'll take that one. Rejuvenation, yes, it's a resurgence of their energy down here. And they have this howling dog here that appears to be your dog from back here, whatever significance that has. So I think we're going to have to leave it there. We're about to run out of time on the video. Take Flight is under the deck. And I think I already showed you these two. Perhaps this is this energy of your multidimensionality, your fertility in all realms, being able to activate the awareness of all parties involved to help this situation level up through the ability you have to harness this knowledge in all aspects of self.